Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about why I switched from Canon to Olympus for my macro photography. Now I've got my cameras here. I'll talk about my old setup first. So this is my old one. I've got the Canon 80D with the Canon 100mm USM macro. Now this is the non-L version, so it's a bit cheaper. And I've also got the Yongnuo YN560 Mark III speedlight, which is sort of like a Chinese knockoff of Godox or something. But they work pretty well, to be honest. The only downside, they use AA batteries. I would highly recommend getting a flash with lithium ion batteries because they last a lot longer. Now we use this setup for probably about two and a half years, something like that. I forgot to mention, I'm also using the Signastech diffuser. Now this is a bit of an old one. As you can see, there's a gap between the lens and the diffuser. So that means a lot of light is lost when the flash fires. That meant I had to use a higher flash power, which was not very good for getting focus stacks and stuff because my flash was overheating and recycle time was just painful. But yeah, I also used to use this with the Raynox DCR 250. And it works pretty well, to be honest. You can get very good shots with a setup like this, but the main reason why I switched, as you can see, the size difference. So here's my new setup, which is the Olympus OMD EM1 Mark II with the Olympus 60mm macro Raynox DCR 250, which I used on my old setup. Signastech diffuser, of course. This one's a new one. As you can see, has a lot more coverage, lose a lot less light. And for the flash, I've got the Godox V350O, and everything on this camera, on this setup, is just smaller and better. Yeah, it's a lot smaller. As you can see, if I hold up my old one next to it, yeah, tiny. Now I'm not the strongest person in the world, as you can see by my noodle arms, you know. I was finding it quite hard to get focus stacks with this crop sensor DSLR. It's quite bulky, like the flash is bigger, the body's bigger, the lens is bigger. It actually weighs 1.46 kilograms, whereas my Olympus setup weighs only 1.05 kilograms. Now it doesn't sound like much, but when you're doing macro photos, any bit of weight reduction makes it so much easier on the arms and the back when you're getting in those awkward angles, those awkward spots. So that's the main reason why I switched, the weight. But another reason why I switched was the features on the camera. One feature that I really like is that you can shoot with the LCD screen with the flash. So if I turn it on here, I can actually just use the LCD screen and the flash will fire. Whereas with my old camera, the flash doesn't fire with the LCD screen on. So as you can see, I go in live view, take a photo, and the flash doesn't fire. It doesn't sound like a big deal to some people, but for me, I really prefer using the LCD screen. It just means I can get in those awkward spots a lot easier, and I won't have to like lie on the floor or, you know, crawl into a bush or something just to get a shot. Now, of course, there is some cases where I will use the viewfinder on my new camera, because sometimes, you know, the LCD screen, you just can't see what's going on, and it's a lot better to look in more detail in the viewfinder. But it's very nice to have that option anyway. I probably missed out on a lot of shots because of my old camera not being able to shoot with the live view mode and the flash. Now another reason, it's not a massive reason, but is the sensor size. Now this camera is a crop sensor DSLR. It's the Canon 80D. It's quite a well-known Canon camera, you know, like the KC9 Stat Vlog DSLR. It came out in 2016, which I think is roughly the same time this camera came out. And this camera is a micro four thirds camera, so the sensor is smaller. But that might sound like a negative to some people. But with macro, a smaller sensor actually helps out a little bit more because you'll get a larger depth of field with a single shot. So because this is a smaller sensor, the depth of field will be slightly different to the Canon 80D. Now it's not a massive difference, so it's not really a reason why I bought it. It's just an added perk. But another good benefit to the crop factor of these cameras is that this one is 1.6, so I'm getting 1.6 times the magnification of a full frame camera. And this one is a 2 times crop, So I get 2 times magnification of a full frame camera. So it means I can get much more magnified shots without having to use things like extension tubes and Rainoxes and all that. However, I do use a Rainox on my new setup because recently I've started to shoot a lot more like high magnification shots and things like ants and, you know, smaller bugs. It's like you can get absolutely amazing detail by using a Rainox and the Olympus with the 60mm macro. I remember shooting a ant in my garden in lockdown with my old setup, and I had to use something like 3 extension tubes, put my flash on like 1/2 power, 1/4 power, and I typically shoot now on 1/16 with a Rainox on this to get the same shot, and that means I can get focus stacks as well. So it just makes it a lot easier. Yeah, the other day I managed to get a shot of an ant in Stratford-upon-Avon butterfly farm. I'll put that on screen now. And I got one last year with my Canon 80D, and I'll put that on screen now so you can see the sort of difference. Now I think I cropped in on those images that you saw there, but you can definitely see like the detail difference. Now this doesn't mean that this camera is bad necessarily. I've got some very good shots of this. It's just whatever shooting style suits you. Now I quite like getting high magnification, detailed shots, and this setup was making it kind of difficult to do that. And I was kind of looking for something new. I saw a lot of people on Instagram using this setup, and I saw their amazing results getting high magnified shots with lots of detail. And I was like, I should probably get that. Now I've had my new Olympus setup for about a year now, and I've only just discovered there's a focus bracketing mode, believe it or not. About a couple months ago, I was like watching some YouTube, and then I came across Jamie Hall Photography, I think his channel is, and he made a video about bracketing on the Olympus, and I don't know why, but I didn't even know about it. I probably should have done some research into my camera a bit more, but I'll show you that now. So it's a bit awkward to show on camera, but basically go into the menu on your Olympus, and then bracketing will be at the top of the second camera icon. Press on, go down to the bottom where it says focus bracketing, and then turn that on. And there is focus stacking. I've got that off because that produces a JPEG, and I like to edit my images in post and edit all the colors and the exposure. Then we've got set number of shots. So my focus stacks are typically 20 to like 50 shots. So I usually set it on 40, but as you can see here, I've just got it on 120 for some reason, not sure why. And because I do quite high magnification shots, my focus planes are very small, so I like to set my differential to 1. That basically means how thin the focus plane is. So if you have it on 2, it will optimize for a larger focus plane, whereas 1 focuses for a much thinner focus plane. So it depends on what type of photography you're doing. And then we got charge time, and I've set that to 0.2, just so my flash can breathe a little bit. It probably could deal with 0 seconds and just fire off, but sometimes I do like one after the other, one focus stack after the other. So it's nice to give my flash some breathing time. Now, when I was buying both my old equipment and my new equipment, I tend to not buy stuff new unless it's not really worth it getting used because it's similar to the new price. But when I do buy used, I often use MPB. I bought pretty much most of this setup through MPB, but I'm looking to get some new batteries. Now these, it cost something like 70 quid brand new, these Olympus batteries. And I looked on MPB the other day, and I think they're 25. If you're looking to get any gear or anything, I'd highly recommend MPB. It's not sponsored or anything, just yeah, I really recommend it. So that's it for today's video. Make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good stuff, you know. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.